Now here then comes another aspect. And that is the doctrine that in one state, one army, not two or three. In other words, you can easily mobilize other governments, trade union or governments, United Nations, against that other army. And that is when it starts getting genocidal proportions. In your country, I would say that the end of the whole thing was touching genocide by the Buddhists, by the Sinhalese, against the Tamils. But you have to understand that there was an ideology behind it. And the ideology is known to everybody but not spoken about so often, the Mahavansa. The idea of being a chosen people with a promised land. That the Lord Buddha, let us say around minus 500 by the Christian reckoning, but the Lord Buddha had promised Sri Lanka to the Buddhists as their land. Highly unlikely, I would say. But being born in Nepal and with some stretching out to India, I don't think his knowledge of Sri Lanka was excessive. But let us leave that point aside. Chosen people with a promised land. Israel, chosen people with a promised land. United States, chosen people with a promised land. Since the Jews didn't make it, we will make it. Japan, chosen people by the sun goddess, Amaterasu Omikami, with a promised land. So what can you predict from that? You can predict that United States and Israel were supporting the Buddhist majority against the Tamils. Now, Japan has limited support power because of Article 9 prohibiting offensive military action. But they can help the Americans, which they do by providing logistics. In the Indian Ocean, for instance. We don't have to go into that, but I'm just saying that the Mahavansa doctrine made it very difficult to find a solution, and will still make it difficult because the solution is obvious. It's a federation. And that's what I was arguing as an NGO mediator in my 34 visits to Sri Lanka. Total failure, I could say, but I stand by the solution. A loose federation